Welcome, fellow explorers, to Passport to Obsession. I'm Josh, and today we embark on a journey not through Europe's grand cities or serene landscapes, but into its wild, untamed heart. This is a continent of profound history and breathtaking beauty, a place many of us feel we know intimately. We wander its ancient forests, hike its majestic mountains, and swim in its azure seas, often with a sense of complete security. But beneath this veneer of tranquility, a different world exists, a world governed by instinct, power, and the primal laws of survival. Europe may seem safe, but these 12 animals prove otherwise. We are about to count down the creatures that command respect and sometimes fear. These are not monsters from myth or legend, but living, breathing inhabitants of the very landscapes we so love to explore. From the silent hunters of the deep forests to the venomous denizens of sun-drenched hillsides, each one possesses a unique and formidable power. Their stories are a stark reminder that we are merely visitors in their domain, and that the wilderness, even in Europe, has teeth and claws. So prepare yourselves as we peel back the curtain of safety and confront the continent's most dangerous wildlife. Which creature do you believe will claim the #1 spot? A mighty mammal, a stealthy predator, or something much smaller and more insidious? Post your predictions in the comments below, and let's begin our expedition into the wilder side of Europe. The answers, I assure you, will be surprising. Our countdown begins with a true titan of the ancient European forests, a relic from a bygone era when megafauna roamed the continent. This is the European bison, or wisent. At first glance it appears a placid, almost bovine creature grazing peacefully in the dappled sunlight of primeval woodlands like Poland's Białowieża forest. Its immense bulk, with males weighing up to 1,000 kilograms, lends it an air of serene indifference, a living monument to a wilder past. Do not be deceived by this tranquil demeanor. The bison's size is not merely for show, it is the source of its formidable power. A single, fully grown bull possesses the strength of a small vehicle, its massive head crowned with short, sharp horns capable of inflicting devastating wounds. They are herbivores, yes, but they are also fiercely protective of their herds and their young. This placid grazer can transform into a thundering force of nature in the blink of an eye. The danger lies in its unpredictability. A tourist approaching too closely, a dog barking off-leash, or the simple misfortune of startling a mother with her calf can trigger an explosive reaction. The ground trembles as this mountain of muscle and bone launches into a charge. And so, the European bison secures its place at number 12. It teaches us the first and most crucial lesson of the wild: respect the size, respect the space, and never ever mistake tranquility for weakness. Emerging from the shadows at number 11 is a creature synonymous with cunning and adaptability, a familiar flash of auburn fur in both countryside and city: the red fox. We see it as a clever opportunist, a charming rogue of the animal kingdom, ghosting through suburban gardens and trotting across moonlit fields. Its intelligence is legendary, its ability to thrive alongside humanity, remarkable. But this very closeness, this successful integration into our world, conceals a subtle and insidious danger. The primary threat posed by the fox is not in its bite, though a cornered fox will certainly defend itself with sharp teeth. The true danger is microscopic, a lethal passenger that this animal can carry and transmit. I'm speaking, of course, of the rabies virus. An encounter with a rabid fox is a deeply unsettling experience. The animal's natural caution is gone, replaced by erratic, aggressive, and unpredictable behavior. The virus hijacks its mind, turning the clever survivor into a confused and dangerous vessel for contagion. A single bite or scratch is all it takes to transmit the virus, which, if left untreated before symptoms appear, is almost invariably fatal to humans. Their increasing boldness in urban environments leads to more frequent encounters. Each interaction, however fleeting, carries a sliver of risk, a reminder that these are not domesticated animals but wild creatures, navigating a world we have built around them. The red fox, therefore, earns its place on our list, not for its physical power, but for its role as a potential bridge for disease between the wild and the human world. We now descend from the world of fur and fang into the realm of scales and venom. At number 10 we find a master of camouflage, a silent hunter basking on the sun-drenched slopes of southern Europe. This is the asp viper, Vipera aspis. Found in the rolling hills of France, the mountains of Italy, and across the Iberian Peninsula, this snake is a creature of warmth and stone, perfectly evolved for its environment. Its intricate pattern of browns, grays, and blacks allows it to vanish completely amongst the leaf litter and rocky terrain. The most distinctive feature of the asp viper is its slightly upturned snout, giving it a perpetually curious, almost disdainful expression. But there is nothing disdainful about its primary weapon, a sophisticated venom delivery system. Its fangs, hinged at the front of its mouth, fold back when not in use but can be deployed with lightning speed. The venom itself is a complex cocktail, primarily hemotoxic, designed to break down tissue and disrupt blood clotting. When a bite does occur, the effects are immediate and severe. Intense burning pain radiates from the wound, followed swiftly by swelling and discoloration. The danger of the asp viper lies in its preferred habitat. It seeks out the very places that humans enjoy: sunny trails, rocky outcrops with beautiful views, and ancient stone walls. A hiker pausing for a rest, a climber reaching for a handhold, or a child playing amongst old ruins could easily disturb one without ever seeing it. The asp viper is a creature of quiet menace, a reminder to watch where you step and where you place your hands. We travel north now to the vast boreal forests and wetlands of Scandinavia and Eastern Europe to meet the undisputed king of these realms. At number 9, we have the moose. This is the largest member of the deer family, a creature of staggering size and honestly a bit of a prehistoric appearance. A fully grown bull can stand 2 meters tall at the shoulder and weigh over 700 kilograms. Its immense head adorned with a magnificent rack of palmate antlers that can span nearly 2 meters. To see one moving silently through the morning mist is to witness something truly primeval. Its sheer mass is the foundation of its danger. A collision between a moose and a vehicle is often more catastrophic for the vehicle and its occupants than for the animal itself. Due to their long legs, the moose's heavy body tends to slide over the hood and directly into the windshield, with devastating consequences. But the danger is not confined to the roadways. While generally shy and reclusive, the moose can be fiercely aggressive when it feels threatened. A mother moose with her calf is arguably one of the most dangerous animals in the northern forests. She will perceive any approach as a direct threat to her young and will not hesitate to charge. This aggression is amplified during the autumn rutting season. The bulls, flooded with hormones, become highly unpredictable and belligerent. They're faster than they look, capable of short bursts of incredible speed, easily outrunning a human over rough terrain. The moose, therefore, is a giant of deceptive temperament, a walking giant whose path is best left uncrossed. Hidden in the deep woodlands and remote highlands of Europe, from the Scottish cairngorms to the forests of the Carpathians, lives a phantom. Our number 8 is a creature of such rarity and elusiveness that a mere glimpse is a privilege. This is the European wildcat. It may resemble a muscular, tabby-striped domestic cat, but it is an entirely different animal, a pure, untamed predator that has resisted domestication for millennia. It is the very spirit of wildness, embodied in feline form. The wildcat is a solitary and secretive hunter, perfectly adapted to a life in the shadows. It is powerfully built, with a thick, blunt tail ringed with black, and a ferocity that far exceeds its size. It stalks with consummate stealth and dispatches with lethal efficiency. The danger is not from predation, but from a chance encounter gone wrong. Should a wildcat be cornered, trapped, or feel its kittens are in danger, its defensive response is terrifyingly explosive. Unlike a domestic cat, it will not simply hiss and flee. It will launch itself at the threat with a fury born of pure instinct. The European wildcat earns its place on this list, not because it is a frequent threat, but because of the sheer concentrated ferocity it can unleash when threatened. It is a small package of untamable rage, a potent symbol of the wild spirit that still endures in Europe's forgotten corners, a spirit that will defend itself with shocking violence if pushed too far. We now move from the terrestrial to the aerial, to a sound that evokes primal fear in many, a low, menacing buzz. At number 7 we have the European hornet. This is not to be confused with the smaller common wasp. The hornet is the largest eusocial wasp in Europe, reaching impressive lengths of up to 3.5 centimeters. Its size, its distinct yellow and reddish-brown markings, and the deep thrum of its wings make its presence immediately known. The danger of the European hornet stems from two key aspects: the potency of its sting and its collective defense strategy. A single hornet sting is significantly more painful than that of a wasp or bee. The venom contains a potent cocktail of chemicals, including a high concentration of acetylcholine, which makes the pain more intense and longer lasting. For most people, a single sting is an excruciating but temporary ordeal. For those with allergies, however, it can trigger anaphylactic shock, a life-threatening medical emergency. What elevates the hornet to this position on our list is its behavior when its nest is threatened. If one hornet perceives a threat, it can release alarm pheromones. This chemical signal acts as a call to arms, summoning dozens, even hundreds of its sisters from the nest, to launch a coordinated, sustained attack on the intruder. To be the target of a hornet swarm is a terrifying and perilous experience. Multiple stings amplify the dose of venom, increasing the pain exponentially and raising the risk of a systemic toxic reaction even in non-allergic individuals. The sheer panic induced by such an attack can also lead to secondary accidents, such as falls or running into traffic. They are the sentinels of their colony, and their response to a perceived invasion is swift, organized, and overwhelming. We now leave the land and take to the sea, where beauty and danger often drift hand in hand. Floating on the currents of the Atlantic and sometimes washing ashore on Europe's western coasts, is our number 6. It is not a single animal, but a colonial organism, a floating city of specialized polyps. This is the Portuguese man-o'-war. Its gas-filled bladder, a translucent sail of iridescent blue and violet, bobs alluringly on the surface, a jewel of the open ocean. Beneath this beautiful float, however, hangs a lethal trap. A tangled mass of tentacles, some of which can stretch for an incredible 10, 20, or even 30 meters, drifts unseen in the water below. These are not merely for propulsion or anchorage. They are armed with thousands of microscopic stinging cells called nematocysts. Each nematocyst contains a tiny, coiled, venom-filled dart, ready to fire upon the slightest contact. The danger for humans is immediate and excruciating. A swimmer, surfer, or even a child wading in the shallows can become entangled in these near-invisible tentacles. The moment they touch the skin, the nematocysts discharge their venom, resulting in an agony often compared to being whipped or burned with a hot iron. Angry red welts tracing the path of the tentacles erupt on the skin. The pain is intense and can last for hours. The venom is a potent neurotoxin, and in severe cases, it can cause systemic symptoms including fever, shock, heart problems, and difficulty breathing. Even when washed up on the beach, the man-o'-war remains dangerous. The tentacles can retain their stinging capability for hours or even days. This deceptive, beautiful, and complex creature is a floating minefield, a stark warning that in the ocean, the most captivating sights can conceal the most agonizing threats. We return to the continent's most remote and silent forests, the domain of a predator so elusive it has become almost mythical. At number 5 we find the Eurasian lynx. With its tufted ears, short, black-tipped tail, and large, padded paws that act like snowshoes, the lynx is a masterpiece of natural design. It is a ghost of the woods, a creature that can live its entire life in close proximity to humans yet remain completely unseen, a whisper in the deep wilderness of the Alps, Carpathians, and northern forests. The lynx is a solitary hunter, relying on stealth and ambush rather than speed or stamina. Its eyesight is exceptionally keen, and its hearing can detect the faintest rustle of a mouse in the undergrowth. It stalks with infinite patience before dispatching with a swift, powerful bite to the throat. The danger this animal poses to humans is exceptionally low. There are virtually no verified records of a healthy wild lynx launching an unprovoked attack on a person. Their strategy for dealing with the unknown is to melt back into the forest, to simply not be there. Why then, does it rank so highly on our list? The answer lies not in the frequency of attacks, but in the sheer potential lethality if one were to occur. A cornered lynx would be a formidable adversary. This is not a small cat. A large male can weigh up to 30 kilograms, and it is pure sinewy muscle. Its claws are like grappling hooks, and its canine teeth are perfectly evolved for severing spinal cords. The Eurasian lynx represents a different kind of danger, a latent, powerful force that exists in the wild places, the ultimate ambush predator whose presence is felt but rarely seen. Few animals in European history are as steeped in fear and folklore as our number 4. It is a creature that has haunted our collective imagination for centuries, a symbol of both wild freedom and ravenous ferocity. This is the wolf. After being hunted to the brink of extinction in much of Western Europe, it is now making a remarkable comeback, re-establishing packs in the mountains of Italy, the forests of Germany, and even the lowlands of France. This return has been hailed by conservationists, but it has also reawakened an ancient, deep-seated fear. The wolf is the ultimate social predator. Its primary strength lies not in the power of a single individual, but in the coordinated intelligence of the pack. Led by an alpha pair, a wolf pack is a complex, hierarchical family unit that hunts with breathtaking efficiency. They use teamwork, strategy, and relentless stamina to test and take down prey many times their own size, such as red deer, wild boar, and even young moose. Their mournful howl, echoing through a remote valley, is one of nature's most evocative and chilling sounds. Today, attacks are exceptionally rare. Wild wolves possess a natural fear of humans and will almost always avoid contact. So why does it rank so menacingly high on our list? Because when attacks do happen, they are terrifying and often fatal. A handful of factors can override a wolf's natural caution: extreme habituation through feeding, rabies, or defending a den or kill. The power of the wolf is not just in its teeth and jaws, but in its intelligence and persistence. An attack is a calculated act by an animal that understands tactics. The return of the wolf means we must relearn the old rules of coexistence with a supreme predator whose place in our darkest stories was earned for a reason. Crashing through the undergrowth at number 3 is an animal whose population is exploding across Europe, from the deepest forests to the fringes of our greatest cities. It is a creature of surprising speed, formidable weaponry, and a notoriously foul temper. This is the wild boar. With its coarse, bristly coat, stocky, muscular body, and a head that seems to be made of solid bone, the boar is a veritable battering ram on 4 legs. The most obvious danger comes from the males with their prominent, razor-sharp tusks. These are continuously growing canine teeth, honed to a fine edge as the upper and lower tusks grind against each other. A charging boar will slash upwards with its head, using these tusks to inflict deep, goring wounds that can sever arteries and cause massive bleeding. What makes the wild boar so particularly dangerous is its temperament and its proximity to humans. Unlike many animals that retreat to wilderness, wild boars are increasingly becoming urban and suburban dwellers. They raid crops, overturn garbage bins in Berlin, and wander through gardens in Rome. A mother sow, though lacking the large tusks of a male, is arguably even more dangerous. She is fiercely, suicidally protective of her young. The slightest perceived threat to her piglets will provoke a full-blown, relentless attack. She will charge with surprising speed, knocking a person down and then continuing the assault with powerful, slashing bites. The wild boar is a perfect storm of danger. It is powerful, heavily armed, quick to anger, and increasingly living right on our doorsteps. Its attacks are not rare occurrences, but a regular feature of news reports from across the continent. This combination of power, aggression, and ubiquity makes the wild boar one of Europe's most genuinely and consistently dangerous animals. Our penultimate creature is small, secretive, and widespread. It is the only venomous snake native to Great Britain and is found across Europe, from the highlands of Scotland to the steppes of Russia. At number 2, we have the European adder, or Vipera berus. Often identified by the distinctive dark zigzag pattern running down its back, this snake is a master of camouflage, blending perfectly into the heathland, moorland, and woodland edges it calls home. The danger of the adder is insidious. It does not advertise its presence. The vast majority of bites occur when the snake is accidentally trodden on or disturbed. A hiker stepping off a path, a child reaching into the undergrowth for a ball, or a dog bounding through the heather, can all lead to a defensive strike that comes with shocking speed and often without warning. The adder's venom is primarily hemotoxic, but it also contains neurotoxic components. A bite results in intense pain, significant swelling that can spread up the entire limb, nausea, and dizziness. While fatalities are very rare, the bite is a serious medical emergency. What places the adder so high on this list is its sheer range and the frequency of encounters. Unlike many more formidable but rarer animals, the adder lives in close proximity to millions of people. Every year, hundreds of people across Europe are bitten. The European adder is a perfect example of how danger is not solely a function of size or aggression. It is a combination of capability and probability. The adder possesses a venomous bite capable of causing great harm, and it lives in places where it is highly likely to be accidentally encountered. It is the hidden fang in the grass, a silent and sudden threat that earns its place as the runner-up on our list of Europe's most dangerous animals. We have arrived at the pinnacle of our countdown, the number 1 most dangerous animal in Europe. It is a creature of immense power, surprising intelligence, and profound unpredictability. It is a symbol of the untamed wilderness that still exists on this continent, a magnificent and terrifying force of nature. It is, of course, the brown bear. Found in robust populations in the Carpathian Mountains of Romania, the forests of Scandinavia, and pockets of the Alps and Pyrenees, the bear is Europe's largest and most powerful terrestrial predator. A large male brown bear can weigh over 350 kilograms and stand taller than any human when on its hind legs. Its strength is almost incomprehensible. With a single swipe of its paw, armed with long, non-retractable claws, it can break the neck of a deer or shatter a human spine. Its jaws can crush bone with ease. The danger of the brown bear is multifaceted. There is the defensive mother, who will attack with unparalleled ferocity to protect her cubs. There is the surprised bear, startled at close range, which may lash out in confused aggression. And then there is the rarest but most terrifying scenario, the predatory bear. Unlike many predators that give a warning, a bear attack is often silent, sudden, and devastatingly effective. It is an explosion of violence that is over in moments. Its speed is deceptive. A brown bear can outrun an Olympic sprinter over short distances, making escape impossible. The brown bear claims the #1 spot because it combines almost all the dangerous traits of the other animals on this list into one magnificent, awe-inspiring package. It has the size of the bison, the protective maternal instincts of the boar, the weaponry of a top predator, and an intelligence that makes it both adaptable and unpredictable. It is the undisputed heavyweight champion of European wildlife, a creature that commands not just respect, but a deep and abiding sense of awe and fear. And so, our journey through the wilder, more dangerous side of Europe comes to a close. From the colossal power of the brown bear to the hidden venom of the adder, we've seen that this is a continent that still possesses a wild heart. These 12 creatures are not villains. They are integral parts of a complex ecosystem, survivors and predators shaped by millennia of evolution. Our encounters with them and the potential dangers they pose are often a consequence of our own actions as we push deeper into their territories. The key takeaway from our expedition is not fear, but respect. When you explore the magnificent landscapes of Europe, remember that you are a guest in another's home. Be aware of your surroundings, keep a safe distance, never feed wild animals, and follow local guidance. By understanding these creatures and the reasons for their behavior, we can minimize the risks and ensure that both humans and wildlife can continue to coexist. Thank you for joining me, Josh, on this episode of Passport to Obsession. I hope this countdown has been as eye-opening for you as it was for me to create. What did you think of our #1? Did any of the animals on this list surprise you? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the wild, please give this video a like, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next thrilling countdown. Until then, stay curious and explore responsibly.